Hi, this is John. This is a continuation of my mouse droid project that I have, the MSE-6 Mouse Droid from Star Wars. This is basically the internals and some of the stuff that I have to control some of the aspects of it. So what I have is an Arduino Yun that I'm using to, that's down here, that I have an image of, that's hosting my web server. So it runs a version of as you can see from the screen up here, the OpenWrt Linux distro. I had to do a bunch of add-on to this stuff too. The initial flash is very small, so I extended that off to the SD card that was placed into there. So I have a 32 gig SD card, and I have plenty of space now to do stuff with. Yeah, so I'm still got things to do. So far it's been a lot of work to get this up and running. I had to do an upgrade on this initially to get it to the right version, and then just had to install different pieces. But what I'm using is the Flask Web server on here, along with some Python and some JavaScript and some HTML. And what that's given me is this web page over here. This is being hosted on the actual Yun, and so from here I can play the sounds and I can send a message, and the message will show up on this screen right here. This is a Seeed TFT. This is an older one. This is a version 1, which is another issue that I ran into with that, because the version 2 uses, I believe, I2C or something like that. This one actually uses pretty much all the GPIO ports, so it's kind of taking control of at least all the digital ones. And I was going to use Node or even Johnny 5. Problem is they require you to disable the bridge. And in order to use the screen, you have to have the bridge. A bridge is some software that's built inside there, allow you to go between the two chips on the Yun. They have the small Arduino chip, and then they have another chip on there that hosts the Linux. So you can bridge between the two of them, which I'm doing with the screen. So I have like sending a message, it goes down and it's going to be pushed back up to the screen from the website, and I have other things that are being moved across from the actual system on up. And if I disable the bridge, then I no longer get the screen. I don't get the TFT screen anymore. So that's been a lot of work. I don't know if I'm going to add anything with that. I think there's videos out there on how to shows how to set some of this up. I guess I can go look at that and see. But can't do it from there. So from here, I can actually, so I have a script, I have a run script, run py, that basically, it imports the app, and then it runs it. So this is all for Flask. Get out of this thing. And the file structure is you have your app folder. So I have an it scripts, I have application, I have my sound script, I have a bridge script that handles the bridge between the two. And then under static, I have a folder for my images, I have a sound folder, and I have some styles that I'm for CSS. So under this is where my images are. That's another issue. I couldn't get images, bitmaps actually, to show up on the screen on the Yun. So I've actually, that image you see right there of the droid, the mouse droid, that actually was created just drawing lines and circles, and then I was able to get that up there. So that's all handcrafted through the Arduino IDE. And I'm using pretty much all the Arduino IDE for the Arduino stuff, and then the Yun on the Linux side, the host this other stuff. So let's see, we got folders. Where are we at? We're here, and then I have my styles for my CSS styles. And so from here, I can just do a Python and then a run. It should go. This will launch the Flask server and bring everything up, and then this way I can get the web page to come off it. So it's hosting this, and then from there I get my web page over here. Let's see if I can refresh it. And what I have at the bottom of it, I have a date that pops up when it refreshes. So it shows you the date. I've added all this stuff here. I pulled down an image for the background and for this image in the background for the Empire image. And then just added some text and stuff like that. And this took a lot more work than I wanted because I'm using some JavaScript. I'm using the CSS styles on here rather than putting them straight into the HTML. And then have this. So again, this page is all being hosted out on the actual Yun over here. So so basically what I have, I can send a message. So those droids, and if I send this will go through everything, and then it should pop up here. So that goes up here. And spacing's a little messed up as far as what comes up on here. So the message will stay up here, and then it'll go back to the default. And then it has a text co-op. There's some description. I don't know if that's very clear. That's popping up right there as far as the web server is concerned, but there's some text down here. It doesn't seem like it's coming up on the camera too good. And then I got the play sound, so I can play some sounds. That's the standard mouse droid sounds that you hear when this thing's on screen. And initially, and I can stop it. And so that's all being pretty much handled through, most of it through Python. So I have a Python script that waits for things to get passed into it. So when it passes the sound, it goes off and runs the process to play the sounds. And when it's done, it's going to go ahead and kill it. When I push stop, it'll kill it. Otherwise, it just loops forever. And what I want to add later on with this here is to add some more buttons to control the actual mouse droid. So I'm going to have some buttons down here so you can control it where it's going to go in the direction, and then eventually the GPS coordinates where you can give it and tell it where to go, and it'll go there. I've ordered some stuff for the mouse droid. It hadn't come in, so it's not quite here yet. I have part of it put together, but I'll probably post this up on there as well, up on the Element webpage. So that's pretty much what I have thus far with this. It's not as much as I was hoping, but it's something, and I'm just going to continue working on this, and we'll see what we get. So there you go.